All right, what's up, everybody? We are back here again for week number 3 of Bowl Mania. Scott, it's the final week before the national championship game. I think we're at a point in time where you just have to put down the gambling addiction and say you can't bet these games because, good God, it's been a bloodbath out here.
Yeah, for some of these picks I had this week, I kind of went with what I felt like was the right pick and then picked the opposite because we just really can't, can't predict anything with any of these games. I mean, people are, there's teams throwing in true freshmen that haven't seen the field all year. There's, like in the first week, there was that one quarterback that had to get paid to play just to, get through the bowl game. In the second game we're going to talk about later, both starting quarterbacks not going to be in the game. So how do we even know what's going to happen in that? Just lots of unknowns that I don't really even want to deal with in real life. We can do it here for fun, but even Georgia, Florida State, 40 plus people aren't playing in that game. So how do we even know what's going to happen? So, we're just gonna pick them, and if I get them wrong, if you get them wrong, I'm not even mad about it. This is impossible.
No, like even games you think, like A&M, they have a competent quarterback. Nope. Snaps his arm on the first play of the game. Just, it's been a week for everybody. It is relatively close still. It's 11-8 right now. So I'm recovering from an abysmal last Saturday. I guess I was too, focused on Christmas. But, these games are going to be better next year. 12 playoff games, or 12 teams in the playoff. We're going to get better games, hopefully. But let's just kick it off. First game of Friday, so the 29th, right when this is going up. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Clemson and Kentucky. I think this is going to be an ugly football game.
Potentially. Yeah, this is one of those. I don't know if Cade Klubnik's playing. I'm pretty sure he is. He might be. Is he transferring? I don't even know. Like we just said, I have no idea if he's even playing in the game. They are favored by 4.5. Clemson is. I kind of felt like Clemson might be the pick here, especially if Klubnik is playing. But like I just said in the intro, I'm going the other way. I'm going to go Kentucky plus 4.5. For this one. Not really any particular reason except if Klubnik plays, maybe that might help Clemson out a little bit. This one seems kind of 50-50 and probably low scoring, so taking the points might help a little bit. The public is saying 62%. So, it's sort of down the middle. Once you get past like the 70-75% mark, that's kind of when you start getting a little concerned with the public. 62, that's relatively down the middle. So I'm going to take the points, and like you said, probably an ugly one. Hopefully a lot of running, and those points will be a little more valuable at the end of the game.
I think both coaches are content to make this game ugly. It's in Jacksonville. Could be rainy, sloppy, shitty weather. We saw a terrible game in the Fenway Bowl. Rip that over you had because of the weather this morning. So I'm actually going with Kentucky too, plus 4.5. I think points are very valuable in these kind of games. Either the games are really close and ugly or they're just total blowouts. That's kind of been the theme. And I think we're going to see a little bit more closer games this week. These are better teams. Clemson's offense has just been bad all season. It hasn't been good. Klubnik plays. Who the hell cares, really? I think Dabo's just trying to get a dub, so he'll win this game 17-13. Be very happy. That's a nice cover for us. All right, next one on the docket. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Very interesting bowl name. Oregon State and Notre Dame. And like you said, no quarterbacks for either team in this game.
Yeah, Sam Hartman's finally, hanging up the cleats and heading off to the NFL. At least his college cleats. It's been a while. He's been playing for like 20 years. It feels like
they got a couple holes in them. Those cleats.
Yeah, they've been using the same cleats. They got some Band-Aids, some super glue and duct tape. But then DJ is also transferring. I forgot where he's going.
Michigan State. He's following his head coach to Michigan State.
That's right. So he's transferring. So both top quarterbacks are not playing. Kind of feel like kind of the same way. Oregon State's probably the play with the points, so I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go Notre Dame minus 6.5. Probably a bad idea. Weather probably is not going to be a factor in this one. Obviously, it's in El Paso, so it might just be
maybe a little chill.
It might be just perfect football weather there. So hopefully, those quarterbacks have some arms, because I'm sure there'll be some decent offense in this one if they do. Pretty much down the middle with the public, 52% is on Oregon State. So they're probably just liking the points. So I'm taking the opposite. I'm going to go Notre Dame minus 6.5.
I went with the team who still has their head coach. Marcus Freeman's still the head coach at Notre Dame. Not really a transition, no interim stuff. Notre Dame, a letdown kind of a season, but not a bad season. You're number 16 in the country. It's 1 inch. It's 1 inch their season flips. They get the stop on Ohio State early in the year. Who knows where this team is at that point? So I actually like the Irish under a touchdown at 6.5. I think at a touchdown I would have went Oregon State. The points would have been just too much for me to pass up here. But yeah, I just think, total new regime at Oregon State. They were already a very inconsistent offense with DJ. They're not going to be anything without DJ. And Notre Dame, their offense wasn't any good. Their defense was. And I don't think there's probably too many opt-outs on the defensive front for them. So yeah, I'm going to go Notre Dame -6.5. This one is just a God help us game. We got Memphis and Iowa State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Don't know this is normally an SEC game. I don't know what's going on with this one. What's your read on this game?
Oh, Memphis is playing a home game. That's a tough
It
one
is it is a
for a
home
bowl
game.
game. They're really just playing at home, and they're the dogs by 10.5. I mean, Iowa State, decent defense. They played really well this year. Memphis, I think they're a decent offense. They've hit the over, I think, 5 of the last 5 times. But I'm going to take the under. I don't pretty much just throwing the dice out there and seeing if we can, stop the Memphis offense a little bit with Iowa State. Once again, don't know really any of the players in this one. This one's pretty tough. You kind of got to do your homework if you want to bet the Liberty Bowl, which I'm not willing to do. So I'm going to take the under 57.5. Really just giving it a shot here. Looks like Iowa State's getting most of the money from the public, and the over is getting 65%. So do with that as you will.
All right, I kind of leaned Iowa State, but I don't think I can trust Iowa State to cover a 10.5 point spread. Like, that's just too much. We're going against each other. I like the over in this game, actually. Memphis scores some points. Iowa State, good, decent defense. Memphis defense is horrible. So Iowa State should probably be able to score. I think we see some points in this game. Iowa probably wins this game, but maybe we got true home field advantage in a bowl game, which really sucks for Memphis. You kind of want to go and do something for your bowl game. So yeah, I just kind of like the over here, 57.5. Not a crazy big number, decent number for how good Iowa State's defense is. But yeah, we're just kind of flinging it out there with the Liberty Bowl. Okay, now we finally have a good game on this one. We got the Cotton Bowl Classic. It's a good game. It's a good game.
Good
Missing a
names.
couple.
Good names of universities in this one.
Missing a couple people. We got the Missouri Tigers, maybe the shock of the SEC. Great season for them all around. And then Ohio State, just the one loss to Michigan out of the college football playoff. At number 7, no Kyle McCord. Marvin Harrison Jr., is he playing? I don't know. What do you think?
I doubt Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play. I feel like what's there to prove? I think he's gone. He'll be a top 5 pick. We all know that. So I don't think he'll be playing in a game with, especially without his quarterback. I don't see why he would even try. So I'm just going to count him out in this one. Obviously, McCord's gone too. He's going he's going somewhere weird. Oh, Syracuse, right?
Syracuse.
Yeah, he's going somewhere. That was a weird pick. I'm sure they paid him a lot of money. This one feels like Ohio. I don't know, like Ohio State being favored in this one seems weird, especially with all the opt-outs. And I think Missouri has everybody. I think everyone's playing, especially with Schaefer's the running back. That's pretty good. So I'm going to take the 3.5 points. We're probably gonna be wrong with that one. Ohio State will probably come out and win in the Cotton Bowl. I mean, not having your starting quarterback in in the Cotton Bowl is, and being favorites, that blows my mind. But I'm going to take Missouri. Hopefully they run the ball all over Ohio State. Potentially the under might hit in this one too, 49. So yeah, I'm going to do Missouri SEC plus 3.5.
So I think the Sharps in Vegas have loved, like, they think Ohio State should be in the playoff. Like, Ohio State over Washington, Georgia over Texas. Like, they think it should have been Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, and that's our playoff. So I think the Sharps are really high on Ohio State. They have a very good defense. But over a field goal is just too much. Missouri, great season. They're highly motivated. And they got pushed to the test. I mean, they did not get blown out by a Georgia team. Like, they played Georgia tough. Ultimately, it would have looked a lot better if they had won that game. But they played that game tough. Good win against Tennessee. Blew out Tennessee. Kind of a stinker against LSU, but not even that bad. 10 points. So this team is up to the challenge against good opponents this year. I think that's going to bode well for them. Yeah, so I like Missouri. Too many points here, 3.5. Ohio State, no quarterback. Maybe people really do think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play. If he does, Ohio State might be the play because just throw it up. He'll go make a play, but there's absolutely no reason for him to play. He's going to be the first non-quarterback off the board, and it's not really even close. I don't think he might be the second player off the board. So yeah, I'm going to take Missouri getting 3.5 in the Cotton Bowl. Should be a decent Missouri crowd. Maybe the Ohio State Buckeyes travel, bad weather, get the hell out of Ohio. It sucks. Now we got an interesting one.
It does say Marvin Harrison Jr. is opting out.
Okay, that's good.
He is
That's
gone.
good.
So yeah. So
Uh,
they're down their quarterback, whole bunch of defensive guys, and then a couple other opt outs. Travion Henderson might not play. Stover might not play. Proctor might not play. So they could be potentially out a lot of players, just like
well, it must be
like
Ryan Day then. Ryan Day, just a great coach, not born on third base. Oh, wait. Oops. All right, let's go to the Peach Bowl on Saturday. Another interesting game. These would be two playoff teams next year. Ole Miss and Penn State. Kind of a weird Big Ten SEC matchup again. What do you like?
Yeah, so this one I took a look. I don't think there's really any big names opting out in either one of these teams, so it's pretty much full strength, which is finally get pretty good football on Saturday. I'm liking Penn State -4.5. Probably in a little defensive battle. Hopefully they can stop Ole Miss a little bit. They can throw the ball around. I'm just liking the defense of Penn State and the Big Ten. So I'm gonna take the favorite -4.5 Penn State.
I went back and forth in this game. Actually, Penn State's tackle. I think he's playing. They said he was going to opt out. He's going to be probably the second non-quarterback off the board in the draft. I was leaning Franklin here. I'm gonna go with Lane Kiffin. Kiffin's a dick, so he kind of wants to win this game. Like, these are two coaches that want to win this game. They aren't necessarily great in big spots in conference play, but they're just kind of two guys that want to win these games. 4.5's a little too steep, I think, for Penn State. Like you said, could be an ugly defensive battle, and I just don't trust his Penn State offense to score any points. I know Ole Miss can kind of score points. I don't think Ole Miss defense is really any good. So maybe we're sitting at like a 17, 16 game, and that's just enough. So I'm going to take Ole Miss plus 4.5, but weird game, I think, in the Peach Bowl. At least it's indoors, but 11 a.m. Ooh, early kickoff, noon local time. Here's another why is this bowl game on this date kind of game. The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. We got Auburn and Maryland. Big opt-out. Tulia not playing quarterback for the Maryland Terrapins. So Auburn got to be a favorite here, right?
They are. They're a favorite 6.5. But I'm taking the other way. It's just because it just seems like that you would take the favorite Auburn in this one without Talia playing, but that just seems like the logical move. So once again, I'm just going to go with the opposite here. I'm going to take a look and see what the opt-outs are right now. Let's see what we got here.
I mean, there's just not a lot of talent on either of these teams. It feels
No,
like.
there's not really. There's a few opt-outs on Auburn on the defensive side, starters, and then like you said, Talia is not going to play. Their cornerback isn't going to play. Otherwise, not too many big names. Really, those are the two, or a couple. So yeah, mostly full strength minus Maryland's quarterback, who's a really
Quarterback
good
who's kind of good. Like, he's
he's
got a
pretty
bad
good.
quarterback.
Yeah, but we're just going to go ahead and take the 6.5 with Maryland.
Both these teams are terrible, I think. I'm taking an under here. We're going to go 47.5, under 47.5. Auburn's trash, man. Like, Auburn's trash. They got blown out by A&M. They got blown out by New Mexico State. I mean, this is a dumpster fire, but hey, they won a game, they bowl eligible. Good for Auburn. Man, that they've fallen a long way off here. So I think under 47.5. Nobody can score any points. Run the football, punt, run the football, punt. Weather's probably going to be
game over with.
Yeah, the weather's probably not going to be great in Nashville. Probably cold, might be a little wet. I don't know. I think it's going to be a shitty game all around. So under 47.5 for me in that one. All right, we got a bowl full of oranges, Capital One Orange Bowl. Maybe the third place game, kind of like this fifth, sixth place game here. Two teams that feel like they should have been in the playoff, Georgia and Florida State. Unfortunately for one of these schools, your national championship probably not going to happen for Florida State. Undefeated, but not a damn soul is playing for this team. So does the Georgia Bulldogs cover this big line?
Well, even for Georgia, you have Brock Bowers opt out, Carson Beck opt out, a few other big players here. Often they're good. Tate Ratledge, guard. A couple other defensive players not playing. I think the number was around 40 for combined both teams. With Florida State, they're already down their big quarterback Jordan Travis, and of course their backup is also going to opt out. He's transferring. Tate Rodemaker, he's gone. Johnny Wilson gone. Keon Coleman gone. Trey Benson gone. They're all opting out. I think we might even get a phone call to see if we can play. I can play running back on Saturday. So nobody's playing in this game. So for me, I'm taking the under. I think it's just going to be get the game over with, just like kind of like the last game we talked about, 44.5. I mean, I think the line went from 14.5, and then all the opt-outs happened, and it went Georgia 19.5, so it jumped up almost a full touchdown. I probably won't even watch this game. I'm not really sure who will. So yeah, I'm taking the under. Hopefully, they just get the game over with.
Well, it's 3 o'clock on a Saturday, so it's a good time, just kind of lazy time. Put the game on here. Surprised Beck's opting out. Honestly, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be the starting quarterback for this team next year. So, I think, like you said, it's 44.5 the total. But the spread is 19.5. That just shows you Florida State's not scoring any points here. I'm gonna swallow the 19.5 with Georgia here. I think they could just straight up run the football to a 24-0 win. Florida State is not scoring points in this game, and their defense all opted out on top of it. They got nothing. This is not the team that won undefeated. I don't blame them. I'd quit too if they felt robbed. But don't you kind of want to stick it to the NCAA? If you showed up, the CFP, you beat Georgia and be like, yeah, F you guys. And now you can claim you're national champions. You're an undefeated Power 5 team who played a real
Just
schedule.
do the whole UCF thing and say you're national champions. You're undefeated. They
honestly,
could even be the only undefeated team left.
And honestly, you'd have more of a leg to stand on than that UCF team on it, obviously, because you actually played real people. And you beat Georgia, and Alabama's your national champion. Well, let's talk about it. We have a conversation here for that one. So I'm just going to, I'm going to take the 19.5 with Georgia. They're just better. They're better. Even if these teams were full strength, they're better. It's just bad. Now, this game, I don't know how this game got on the schedule this late. I'm sure we're gonna have a Dave Portnoy, Big Cat experience in the booth. We got the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl, Holy Toledo, and our Wyoming Cowboys. I think this is a couple teams we bet on a few times this year.
Definitely. I know last year the Barstool Bowl was like one of the best games of the bowl season. So hopefully that happens again. I'm looking at opt-outs. I don't really see many besides
Toledo's quarterback opted out.
Toledo quarterback is out. He's played a lot of snaps, and they also have a potential opt-out with their corner.
Daquan Finn, absolute dog.
And then really doesn't look like much from Wyoming. I'm going to take Wyoming -3.5 in this one. I just really watched them against Texas Tech. That's really the only game early in the year I watched them. I mean, Toledo, I didn't really watch either, but not really much to say on this one. I'm not gonna bet it. Hopefully, like you said, Dave Portnoy and Big Cat have a fun time in the booth with Jake Marsh on the call. I'm sure down in Tucson. So I'm gonna take Wyoming -3.5.
Me too. I'm gonna go Wyoming here. I think it's just too much. Toledo already a MAC school, back against the wall. You're missing your quarterback, who's pretty damn good. Honestly, Wyoming also play physical football, ugly game. So yeah, give me Wyoming -3.5 here. Next game, we got New Year's Day, no game Sunday, NFL Sunday. So kick in 2024 at 11 a.m. Just wake up hungover, not even knowing where you are. We got the Real Quest Bowl. I don't even know how that's a bowl game. Wisconsin and LSU. Nobody's playing for either of these two teams, I don't think.
Doesn't look like. I know Jaden Daniels is definitely out. Malik Neighbors is out. Brian Thomas, other receiver, out. Couple corners are out for LSU, and I believe for Wisconsin, their starting running back is out. Starting wide receivers, two of them are out, and another injury wide receiver. So they have at least three wide receivers that aren't playing for Wisconsin as well. So um, just another ugly looking game. Where is it even at? It's in Raymond James.
Tampa. It's in Tampa.
In Tampa, yeah. So Raymond James in Tampa. I'm taking the under 55.5.
That's a good one.
I think it's just another case of the Orange Bowl with nobody playing, especially with Jaden Daniels and all of his weapons not playing as well. So really, we talked about this in the open. I mean, how do you even bet these games when you have all these people up there? So I'm taking the under. Hopefully, with people not playing, we just don't score. So
I
we'll
like it. I like it. I'm going to take the 10 with LSU here. Wisconsin already a shitty offensive team, really bad all year. They don't have any of their receivers who are actually the best part of the offense, at least for them. And Meister, whatever. The backup quarterback for LSU, not bad. He's a solid quarterback. I think LSU is going to be okay with him at quarterback. And yeah, I'm just going to go awful Big Ten team, okay SEC team. The LSU's defense is the worst part. I don't even think they're bad enough to get beat by this Wisconsin offense. So I'm going to go 10 with LSU here. Wake up early. Also, an insane local kick. We got 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's an 11 a.m. local kick. Might be even 10. We got the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. I don't know what is going on with this. Liberty and Oregon. This feels about as one-sided of a bowl game as we're going to see.
Yeah, it's a game I actually might go to because the tickets are nice and cheap. They're about $25 for a nosebleed. I'm actually getting on a flight to go to Phoenix after this. Surprisingly enough, Bo Nix and Bucky Irving are both playing, so they have their quarterbacks. 19.5 and 66. Actually, I think it might be more than that, isn't it? It's 67.5 now with the total. I'm taking the over. I'm going to take the over in this one. I think Bo Nix and Bucky Irving, they score quick. They get 21 in the first quarter. Maybe Liberty scores 1 or 2 in the first half. They get 28, 35, something like that. 35-14 in the first half. I do think Oregon will probably roll. They have their Heisman candidate quarterback actually playing, which is really surprising. He'll be probably a first top 20-ish.
He'll be a first round pick probably.
Election. Definitely a first round pick. They have a few players not playing that are big players, but when you got Bo Nix, you got their starting running back. I think they'll score a lot of points. Liberty has shown they can score a little bit too. Don't have too many players opting out. Why would they? They're at Liberty. They're not going anywhere. Besides their starting corner, it looks like. So we are going to take the over 67.5.
Yeah, I think the big one in this is it's 16.5 or it's under the 17. I'm taking Oregon. I'm taking this number. They're going to blow out Liberty, 131st ranked strength of schedule out of 133 this year. They played the easiest schedule. They went undefeated. They played nobody. I don't know what happened. Conference USA used to be like one of the best mid-major football conferences, and now they're by far the worst. They're just abysmal, that conference. Liberty is not good. Liberty should not be in this game. It's all because Tulane screwed up. SMU actually played a real schedule, kind of kept them out of being the highest ranked G5 team. I think SMU probably should have been in this game, should have been the best G5 team. I'm going to take Oregon. Bo Nix is playing. They're going to light this thing up. They're just, they want to feel good, go out on a win. Oregon minus 16.5. I don't even think this game is close, but I like the over also. Points. All right, final game before the big two. Let's get through this one real quick. I, dread the Tennessee coaches that had to watch Iowa's offense for a month. We got the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Iowa and Tennessee.
I have a feeling that Tennessee's, offensive guys didn't take too long. The defensive guys didn't really sit down too long watching their offense play. I think I think you probably know where I'm going with this one. I'm pretty sure you're probably going the same way here. Um, Spencer Petras, backup, he's not playing. Otherwise, they have whoever they have. Cade McNamara's injured. He's been injured all year. Joe Milton is a big name for Tennessee. He's not playing. He's opting out and entering the draft. But we're taking the under, as we do with Iowa, 35.5. This will be just a painful game. I mean, I think if you're an Iowa fan, I feel so bad for you having to watch a team every week that just
Can't
they tried their
score.
best. They tried their best out there on offense. Their defense, and they really carried the team. Somehow they got 10 wins, but it's mostly been because they can just stop teams. And now Tennessee doesn't have their quarterback. 35.5. That's a lot of touchdowns that Iowa has to score, unless Tennessee just wins 42-0. Then we're all just screwed. But we're just taking the under because we love Iowa unders. So 35
Yeah.
and a half.
Yep. Under. It's amazing. Iowa puts out a juggernaut offensive tight end every year, it feels like. And it's not even just a blocking guy. It's a guy who's just a monster pass catcher. I do lean Tennessee. I think Tennessee can cover the 6.5. I don't think there's much of a change at quarterback. I mean, we kind of shit on their offense and quarterback play all year. What's the difference with a backup in? So under, but let's get to the juicy, what everybody came here for. Hopefully they stuck around for. We got our two
Probably not.
semifinals.
Okay.
We
I'm having fun.
two semifinals. The first one, the granddaddy of them all, number 4 Alabama against number 1 Michigan. Where are you going?
Yeah, both these games are tough. Especially this first one with Bama, Michigan. Bama's had their one loss to Texas early in the year, but otherwise have looked pretty solid. I don't know. It's really tough for me to not pick a Nick Saban team that has had 3 weeks to prepare. Obviously, Michigan they can stop guys on defense. They've done that all year and have a pretty decent run game, but I don't know. For me, I think just Bama can probably get this done for me. 1.5 doesn't seem like too difficult. I think this might be kind of a lower scoring-ish game, maybe a 27-24, which probably will still get the cover for an over if you want to pick that. But I guess that's not really lower scoring; it's more mid-scoring. But I don't know. I like Bama plus 1.5 in this one. It's just tough for me to pick a Bama team who makes it in the playoff. That's all they have to do is make it in the playoffs and usually roll. So, yeah, I'm taking Bama plus the points.
Alabama built for this. They are not the same team that we saw lose to Texas. We might get a rematch in that game. But Michigan, they don't have the wrong signs this year. They don't steal the signs. They had the wrong signs against TCU, and TCU took full advantage of that. I think this is a tight game. I think Michigan does show up. They've lost 2 straight years. They can't lose. They can't get blown out. They got to bring the heat. The offense hasn't been good, though, down the stretch. Maybe with a month to prepare, you can open this thing up, kind of play physical. I'm going to go with an over here. I'm going to go over 44.5. I think Bama does score some points. I think Michigan scores some points. They're going to be able to design some stuff. And I would lean Bama if I had to pick this game, getting points. I think they're just Bam. You win the SEC. I don't care. Say it's down, whatever. They ran the table. They look good. They dismantled a Georgia team that everyone felt like was pretty top dog-ish. So I'm going to take an over in the first game at 44.5. Should be a fun one. And our final game, the All-State Sugar Bowl. I think this is going to be the best game of the weekend, maybe the best game of the sets. Two evenly matched teams. We got Texas and Washington. I flipped in back and forth on this one a whole bunch.
Yeah, I kind of stayed firm with my pick in the last couple of weeks. Total 62.5, so kind of showing it could be a decently high-scoring game. Texas potentially Xavier Worthy might be out. He was hurt in the Big 12 championship. I don't know if he's recovered. It's going to be about a month since then, so potentially he could be back. If he's not, that's tough. He's a first-round pick too, who's big punt returner, big kick returner, and also deep ball threat for Quinn Ewers. But Michael Penix and Roma Duze, I think they've kind of been slept on all year. I think a lot of, obviously they were dogs against Oregon after beating them, and then beat the shit out of them again. in the Pac-12 championship. I just think Washington's a little slept on, and I do think with them being the underdog too, getting 4 points, I feel like is helpful. Maybe Texas wins on a late game, late field goal. That'd be ideal for all of us. That'd be a really cool game to watch if it's that close. But yeah, I'm taking Washington +4. Like I said, I just think Washington's a little slept on. They barely got in probably. If Oregon would have won, I don't think either Pac-12 team would have been in the playoffs. So they would have probably stuck Florida State in there. We would have had some problems. But yeah, I'm taking Washington +4. Hopefully rooting for a good game.
I like that. And Pac-12 was easily the best conference. I shouldn't say easy. It was probably the best conference this year, and you would have left the winner of the Pac-12 out with one loss, avenging the loss. When this came out, I felt Texas early. I felt like it was just kind of a matchup nightmare. You don't see the interior defensive tackles in the Pac-12 that you're going to see. Texas brings it from the interior. Washington's been able to throw off their game. Oregon did a good job in that first game. Didn't do as good of a job in that second game. If you can get Penix off of his spot, it's kind of ugly. But you look at this is a Texas team that has underperformed against really pathetic competition in spots. I mean, the Big 12, 3-point win against TCU, a 10-point win against Iowa State, Kansas State with a backup quarterback. Okay, it's nice. A terrible spot against Houston, and they're not even in this game. Houston probably wins that game, and Texas isn't here, but they are here. I'm going to get the 4 points with Washington. I think it's too big of a number. I think Texas, I would lean Texas money line here on a 3-point win. Maybe they get a stop driving. We get a push. Maybe it's one of those awkward, they need to go get the touchdown to win and they can't. But yeah, Michael Penix in this offense has been slept on all year. The defense isn't good. Texas has played bad defenses all year and kind of struggled in spots with them. I think you can score on the Texas defense. If you look at Oklahoma, I mean, Oklahoma put up points against Texas. Washington's offense is a whole nother monster out there. And if Xavier Worthy's out, it's going to be on Quinn Ewers. He's been good. He's good in the spotlight, but let's see. Yeah, you were good in Alabama. Are you going to be good in a spot here? It's going to be a home game for Texas, though. It does suck for Washington. They're the 2 seed, and you're basically playing a road game in New Orleans, so it's a bummer for them. But I'm going to take the Huskies. I flip back and forth on this one a lot. Would not be surprised to see Alabama, Texas. Wouldn't be surprised to see Michigan, Texas. But I think I'm going to go with you. We're going to go Washington, Bama as our national championship picks.
Yeah, I think Worthy is going to play, but I just know he might not be 100% after coming off. I think it's like an ankle injury or something in the Big 12 championship. So not good for a speed guy. So they do have another wide receiver, Mitchell, who's also really good. Probably a first-round pick also. So lots of weapons in this game. So it should be a lot of fun to watch.
A lot of fun. Good way to close out the night. Bring in 2024. Good games. I mean, good semifinal games. We got the 4 teams that I think everybody's happy to see play with the best / deserving. It's a combination. It's not the best. It's not the most deserving. It's a combination. So should be a lot of fun. I'll throw the picks up on the screen. We have another million picks again this week. If you haven't already, click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. We will be back the Monday the 8th, the national championship. I'm sure we'll throw up an episode to break down the national championship. So much to go on with that. Should be a lot of fun. Again, like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you guys next week.